Well, good morning, everyone. Today we're opening the South Bronx Neighborhood Opportunity Network, also known as the South Bronx NeON, N-E-O-N. It is the fourth NeON our administration has opened since December as part of our comprehensive effort to connect New Yorkers on probation to the organizations and resources that can support them in building better lives, something that is certainly in their interest and in society's interest for sure. It is also the second Neighborhood Opportunity Network, along with the South Jamaica NeON. Whoever did that, you are great. I'm going to come with me every time. Way to go, George. Along with the South Jamaica NeON to include a resource hub like the one you see here. Soon greeters will be on hand to welcome probation clients and facilitate appointments with probation officers. Once they've signed in, probation clients will be able to log on to one of the hub's computers, which have been customized to provide information on local resources such as GED programs, job training programs, and substance abuse treatment programs. In addition to brochures and reading materials, the hub has a television that will feature news, information on local events such as job fairs, and other bulletins pertaining to probation clients. And we're partnering with nonprofit groups, including the Osborne Association, Catholic Charities, the South Bronx Overall Economic Development Corporation, and the Bronx Clergy Roundtable, who will have representatives on site to meet with clients while they wait. So when clients come here to visit their probation officer, they'll also be able to get housing assistance, financial counseling, mentoring, and a number of other services they need to get on track and to stay on track. And we think that by bringing probation's operations to services hubs like this one, we're meeting New York's probation clients where they live and making it easier for them and make sure that they show up. And everybody's going to benefit. By bringing probation operations to service hubs, people with criminal histories who often operate in a world with limited opportunities will have a lot more chance to get their lives back on track. And as a result, when instead of being lured back into the same cycle of crime and violence from which they came from, they're going to have that circle, we think, broken, and we're going to reduce recidivism. Everybody's going to be a beneficiary here. NeONs are central to the Probation's Department commitment to keeping New Yorkers and our neighborhood safe. They are an important piece of our Young Men's Initiative, which is aimed at ending the disparities that keep young black and Latino men from fulfilling their potential and contributing to our city. With the launch of the South Bronx Neighborhood Opportunity Network, more than 1,300 probation clients are now reporting to NeONs. That's about 15% of all probationers who must see probation officers regularly, and that number will continue to grow. We will open our fifth NeON on Staten Island this September, and in the coming months, we'll open NeONs in East New York and Bed-Stuy, as well as additional satellite offices here in the Bronx. And NeONs are hosting a variety of events and activities that most people wouldn't expect to see at a probation office. You'd be surprised to know what they're doing is making sure there are health fairs and educational forums, domestic violence awareness workshops, job readiness workshops, and fatherhood programs. And thanks to probation's focus on innovative community-based approaches to improving public safety, I'm happy to say that the rate at which New York City probation clients violate the terms of their probation is only a third of the statewide rate. 6% as compared to 19%. So it really is working. And if you want to know the reason, we think it's because we're doing more than simply waiting for probation clients to come to us. We're going into communities, proactively reaching out to probation clients, working with them step by step, and going the extra mile to help them turn their lives around and stay on track. And we're confident that service hubs like this one will help us do that even better. NeONs, I think, are also a great example of what the public, private, and nonprofit sectors can do to help people improve their lives when they work together. And with that, let me welcome the man who's leading our efforts to help probation clients become active, productive members of their families and communities, and whose parents are with us today. Welcome, both of you. Commissioner Vincent Schiraldi. Vinny?
Well, welcome to the South Bronx NeON. 4 boroughs down, Staten Island to go, folks. There's a lot I could talk about today, the NeONs, the resource hubs, young men's initiatives, but I want to use my time to help the people who have made all of these initiatives such a success take a step back and appreciate just how far we've come in a pretty short period of time. One of the great things about the South Bronx NeON is that it's at street level so people can see in as they walk by. I've seen more than a few pedestrians do double takes as they walked past us this morning and can guess what they were thinking. Didn't that used to be a probation office? When did it turn into some like new hip cafe with, violin players that are throwing a party on a Tuesday morning? But it's hard to blame them for being so surprised when you consider what this room used to look like back here. We have some before pictures scattered around the room. I vividly remember walking into this waiting room the first time I did it. And this really, in many respects, how bad this waiting room used to be was the impetus for the work we're doing in all the waiting rooms we're doing right now. Most of the folks were sitting in there were sleeping or they had their earplugs in. The ones who were awake had bored looks on their faces. I remember thinking, how do we expect these folks to go into their meeting with their probation officer ready to work, ready to begin turning their lives around and begin their rehabilitation? If we waste their time out here, how can we expect them to listen to us when we try to guide them onto the straight and narrow? By redesigning this space and changing our approach to working with our clients, we're altering the low expectations that this waiting room screamed of in its former incarnation. But changing expectations is exactly what we're trying to do. And so far, we're doing a pretty good job of it. People wouldn't expect that we've reduced revocations of probation by 45% since 2009, sending a signal to our clients that we fully expect them to succeed on probation. And we're going to deploy all our resources, be they our staff, new programs funded under the Mayor's Young Men's Initiative, to simultaneously hold them accountable and help them work towards a brighter future. As the mayor said, that means our clients are failing out of probation at a third the rate they are in the rest of the state. People don't expect to see amazing graffiti mural created by probation clients who were arrested on vandalism charges when they walk into our Brownsville NeON. Probation clients, when they sit down at one of our new resource hubs, they don't expect to be approached by a local community-based organization that wants to help them get a GED or the new Department of Education GED program that's going to run right out of the classroom in there, signing up for health benefits or help getting a job. Now, I don't want to oversell it. For as far as we've come, we still have a long way to go. Sometimes we emphasize that, something we emphasize at every level of our department. But there's no doubt we're on the right track. I have so many people to thank, so I'm going to jump right into it. Hopefully the music won't start playing like it does at the Oscars, right? So I'm going to begin with everyone who contributed to making this resource hub a reality. First up is the Waiting Room Improvement Team. As I said, this was the birthplace of the Waiting Room Improvement Team. They provided the intellectual blueprint. Let me say that again. They provided the intellectual blueprint for this and every resource hub we're creating. The team was composed of Department of Probation staff and clients and led by the brilliant and dedicated Laura Kurgan, Associate Professor of Architecture at Columbia. Next, I'd like to thank Bieber Architects for designing our resource hubs. Jim, is Suzanne here? She's not here. Okay, Jim, Suzanne, and the entire Bieber team, they're at the top of the architecture food chain, and we're truly lucky to be the beneficiaries of their talent and generosity. Bieber's great design works in tandem with the amazing posters created for our waiting rooms by James Victori, the phenomenally talented graphic designer. Check them out after the program, but there's no need to get carried away and try to peel them off the walls. Each one of you will receive a mini poster as you leave today. We're also really proud of the touchscreen computers you see around the room, which aren't your normal PCs. The interface was created by Hunter College's Dr. Harriet Goodman and Shasha Fang, who also conducted focus groups and interviews with staff and clients to figure out how to get the most out of the computers and monitors. Basically what they are is they're full of resources that clients can access to help them get jobs, get their GED, get education, get drug treatment, any kind of resource a probationer would want. I'd also like to thank Commissioner Edna Wells-Hendy. There she is, right behind me, who's come to basically every single one of these ribbon cuttings and has been she's essentially the world's greatest landlord. She's been a partner with everything we've been trying to do, and she's really been, her and her staff really have stepped up to the plate to help us make these a reality. And speaking of partners within city government, I have to give a big thanks to my boss, Deputy Mayor Linda Gibbs. She couldn't be here today, but if it wasn't for her interest and support of this initiative, we would absolutely not be here today. I'd also like to give a nod of appreciation to the United Probation Officers Association, which represents many of our staff. A number of Bronx delegates are here with us today: Jennifer Rogers, Kathy Washington, Joanne Palmer, Sandra Migdal, William Coachman, and Andrea Diaz. Can you guys go like this, please, wherever you are? There you go. UPA has worked closely with us, and we're very grateful for their cooperation. Of course, I want to recognize Lonni Tanner, Executive Director of See ChangeNYC, an initiative of the Mayor's Office and the New York City Department of Design and Construction. I guess we could have somehow managed to create this resource hub without her, but they wouldn't look nearly as cool as they do. It was also Lonni who connected us with Jim, James Victoria, and the many other artistic and committed people who've contributed their talents and time to the Bronx NeON Resource Hub. Lonni, thank you very much. Keep looking the wrong way. I want to also thank Lonnie's boss at the Department of Design and Construction, Commissioner David Burney, and his steadfast support of the Department of Probation. A dedicated and talented team of DDC staff oversaw the actual construction work that was done at the facility. It was completed in record time with us. It took 3 weeks for them to do this, with amazing results. Very special shout-out goes out to Susan Tucker, our Director of Justice Reinvestment Initiatives, whose time has been graciously donated to the department by George Soros's Open Society Foundation for the last 2+ years. I can't overstate the role that Susan played both in developing the NeON and Resource Hub's concepts and also turning them into reality. She's someone of great vision and compassion, and we're lucky to have her on our team. I'd also like to thank Judge Efrain Alvarado, Administrative Judge for the Bronx Supreme Court. I looked the right way this time. Judge Alvarado has been a steadfast supporter of the work we're doing, and I hope he knows how much we appreciate and value that support. And last, but certainly not least, I want to thank everyone at the Department of Probation who worked on this project, especially the Bronx Adult Operations staff. It starts at the top with Assistant Commissioner Sharon Goodwin, who's a dynamo in every sense of the word. Sharon does not just embrace change, she squeezes the juice out of change. She's assisted by Tim Salyer, the branch chief of the South Bronx NeON. There's Tim. Tim's a little more low-key than Sharon, but he's been an undercover dynamo, and they make a terrific pair. And if he looks especially proud today, that's because his 2 beautiful daughters were 2/3 of the Odelia String Trio, the talented group that is providing music before us, before the ceremony. As wonderful a place as the NeON is, they will not be here every day when the probation client comes. That brings me to the POs, the SPOs, the branch chiefs, administrative personnel, tech staff, and support staff, in whose hands the fate of the South Bronx NeON truly rests. To say that I have absolute faith in them is not an overstatement. The work they do is not easy, but that hasn't stopped them from performing at a consistently high level and for courageously stepping out in front when we ask for folks to volunteer to be part of our innovative NeON efforts. There's a lot of cool stuff in this room, but our most valuable resource by far is our staff, and I have no doubt they're going to make the NeON worthy of the double takes that we're drawing today. Thank you all very much.
Vinny, thank you. Robert Johnson is the district attorney for the Bronx, and I'd like to invite him to share a few words. Rob?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Mayor Bloomberg, Commissioner Schiraldi. I represent not one of the people who's responsible for this achievement we're celebrating here this morning. I represent 2 communities. One is the criminal justice community, and 2 is the community at large here in the Bronx. And in that capacity, we are the beneficiaries of this hard work that has brought us here this morning. So my purpose here is to say thank you to both you, Mr. Mayor, and you, Commissioner, and all the people who you enumerated in your remarks for putting this together. Thank you in particular for recognizing that your clients, the clients of probation, are people. And just the change of the environment here in this room is a message to them that we see them as people, that we will work with them as people. And I think that's an important message. But your message goes beyond that as you celebrate the Neighborhood Opportunity Network here this morning. Your message is that we, all of us, benefit from seeing every client succeed. A crime-free and a drug-free client is an improvement to our society. It is helping us all. And I also think that in talking about people we thank, I in particular also want to single out Assistant Commissioner Sharon Goodwin-Jones. I believe she doesn't sleep because every conversation I've had with her, she has a new idea. I don't know where it came from, but it sounds feasible. It sounds doable. I sometimes ask where's the money going to come from, but as you see, it comes. And I really think the staff here in Bronx Probation has done a wonderful job of reaching out. Here in the Bronx, we have a bevy of neighborhoods, but we always could use more opportunity. And that's what this represents, not just the environment you see, but the services that are going to come inside of this environment. The people, not just Bronx Probation, who are going to provide the services, and that's the network. Because as I look around the room, I see elected officials, I see community representatives, I see service providers, all the people who, anytime you've had a conversation with Sharon Goodwin-Jones, she's able to convince you that you have something to bring to the table and you want to do it because it makes sense. And that's how I feel. And I'm glad that you have all come together in this way because opportunity and networking is what we need for our young people. What we do here when we increase the services is that we increase the odds for these young people, and in so doing, we will certainly increase public safety for the citizens of Bronx County. So thank you all for your participation.
Rob, thank you. As Schiraldi said, the creative force behind the innovative design of the resource hub is See ChangeNYC. It is an initiative of our administration's Design and Construction Commission that is led by Lonni Tanner. Lonni and her team, along with Commissioner David Burney, continue to do a great job to make our public spaces more welcome and useful for New Yorkers. And I want to invite her to share a few words. Lonni, also happy birthday, which is...
Can't speak after that. That's my greatest moment. That's why we're doing this today. It's actually because of my birthday. Right. So it's really.
If I had known an expensive returnable gift would be in the mail, it's too late this year. Talk to me next year.
How about a hug? Everybody said everything I was going to say.
But that won't stop you.
No, it will not. So I'm just going to repeat everything again.
The purpose of all this is to say everything, but it has to be said by everybody.
I love that. In a different way, right?
That's why we're here.
Okay.
No, even the same way. Doesn't matter.
Well, thanks to this man, I run a program called See ChangeNYC, which is a joint mayoral Department of Design and Construction initiative with a goal to improve the experience for the most vulnerable New Yorkers who come to our centers for services. And we're all about small change, big impact, replicable and affordable. And whether it be senior centers or probation centers, we've seen them all. Our aim is to make them places you want to be. Redesigning this center, I'm going to cry, redesigning this center and 7 others has been an incredible honor to both work with probation. Vinny Schiraldi rocks my world. That he allowed us to do this. We're even we're even doing the bathrooms this week. We're doing 88 bathrooms. I'm serious, with artists and plaques on the door and gaming and we're trying to make these places something special, as probation is trying to do. And I gotta once again say a lot of people who donated time, who really donated time. Jim Bieber, once again, Bieber Architects is just the most amazing group of people who put in thousands of hours to all of these centers. And I just want to thank Jim Bieber, Suzanne Holt, Iman Faroud, Casey, you're all here. None of this would have been possible without you. James Victori, who did all these posters. Come on, beautiful, right? Place matters. Jim and his folks turned this place into places that have the power to not just look good, but change the lives of those who enter. And also, though you may not know, a lot of the stuff here is donated, from the carpet which is Interface, to the flooring, which is Armstrong, to the shades, which is Lutron, to the ceiling, and it's tiled from Camco. Solid color, thank you. I know you're here. This was a job done with great care and great thought by my team, who I want to thank, the Department of Design and Construction. You make me happy, and you get stuff done. DCAS, what can I say? Once again, you're my best friend. None of this would have been possible without a team of people who truly care about making this place better for everybody. Let's do more of them.
Lonni, thank you. This exciting NeON site wouldn't be possible without the partnerships of corporate citizens that Lonni mentioned, like Armstrong World Industries, educational institutions like Hunter College of Social Work, and community organizations like the South Bronx Overall Economic Development Corporation, also known as SOBRO. We appreciate their generosity in supporting their fellow New Yorkers, and I'd like to invite SOBRO's program manager, Maurice Good, to share a few words. Maurice?
Good day, everyone.
Good day.
I'd like to thank Mr. Mayor, Commissioner Schiraldi, Ms. Tanner, DOP, staff members, in celebrating this new day in community partnering. 19 years ago, as a 21-year-old, I was a probationer, and it was the caring support of my PO and the Department of Probation that now has allowed me to become the program director of New York City Young Men's Initiative, Young Adult Justice Scholars Program, and all of the court-involved programs for SOBRO. Thank you. I would like to thank the Mayor's Office, the Center for Economic Opportunity, Department of Probation, and the community leadership, and for its joint venture built on respect and shared goals. In closing, what this means, the NeON means possibilities and opportunities. And FYI, AC Goodwin, Tim Salyer, and their team are rock stars. Thank you.
Thank you, Maurice. Anthony Berrios will be a client here at the South Bronx NeON. He's also participated in several YMI programs, and it's great to hear how the initiative is making a difference in his life. Anthony?
Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony, and I'm from the neighborhood. I've grown up around this neighborhood and lived in the Bronx almost all my life. And within my lifetime, I've been in a lot of negative activity and encountered many problems and involved in some instances I shouldn't have been involved in. And I've broken the law and gotten in trouble many times, which is the reason why I'm currently on probation. But there are many followers in the neighborhood, and I once was one of them. I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing and hanging out with people that I shouldn't have been hanging out with. And I was only doing it because I was bored and I wanted some excitement in my life. But as being on probation, I've learned that I could be doing exciting things I enjoy doing without getting into trouble. I remember the first time I walked into this room, it was about a year ago, before I got put on probation. And, sheesh. The chairs were so close to each other, everybody was all up on you. There was nothing to do, so everyone either messed around on their phone or gave each other dirty looks, which was pretty much exactly what I expected from probation. But luckily, though, things got better once my name was called on my probation officer. P.O. Kudina was tough, but she also cared enough about me to figure out that I was good at art. So she hooked me up with the animation program here at 198, and I have to say it's pretty cool. I learned a lot of interesting things and met some interesting people, and I was able to put my artwork into life with the program. And my probation officer also got me into the Department of Probation's Thinking for Change program, which P.O. Reed is also involved in. And the Think for Change program has helped me make better decisions in my life. One of the important things I learned while being in the Think for Change program is something called SODAs. It's stop and take a few seconds and think about your options, then decide what's going to be your action, and last but not least, self-praise. All of these experiences made me look at being on probation in a whole new way, and that was before I saw the new resource hub, which is, as you can see, pretty much amazing. And I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but this room is somewhere I'm happy to be, thanks to P.O. Gudina, P.O. Reed, Branch Chief Salyer, and Assistant Commissioner Goodwin Jones. Thank you for your time, and you have a nice day.
Anthony, good luck to you. You're an adult, and in the end, you're responsible for your future, but we can help, and we in New York don't walk away from people. We try everything we can to give people the tools and the advice and the guidance, but in the end, it's still going to be up to you. And I think Maurice is a good example of how you can do it and make it work. Deputy Mayor Linda Gibbs, who couldn't be with us today, is another one of the people that really does deserve a lot of credit for this rapid growth of our NeON initiative. As Deputy Mayor for Health and Human Services, she's been behind a lot of the projects that are going to make New York an even healthier, safer, happier place to live and work in the coming years. I also want to point out we have State Senator Ruth Hassell-Thompson with us, Assemblyman Eric Stevens, Assemblywoman Carmen Arroyo, Efrain Alvarado, the judge, is here. We appreciate him. Sharon Goodwin, Assistant Commissioner, Department of Probation, and Edna Wells-Hanley, our Commissioner of DCAS. Let me just summarize today's announcement for our Spanish-speaking New Yorkers before we take questions. Estamos abriendo una nueva red de oportunidad comunitaria en el sur del Bronx. Este programa ayudará a jóvenes en libertad condicional conectar con la ayuda necesaria para no regresar al sistema judicial. And that's a good message for all of us. We'll be happy to take some questions on top.